Imagine a fruit whose aroma fills the entire environment, whose size makes you stop and stare, and inside which hundreds of golden seeds are hidden. This fruit is the jackfruit, a familiar name in South Asia, but today it is not just a fruit, but the center of a global revolution. This fruit, once hanging on the branches of a village tree, has now entered the modern factory, where it is no longer a fruit, it is a raw material, a possibility, the basis of a new food future. The journey begins at dawn. Truckloads of jackfruit enter a huge processing factory one after another. Each jackfruit is like a small mountain, heavy, covered in thorns, and with unknown possibilities hidden inside. After emerging from the hands of the farmer, this fruit is now going to the hands of the machine, where the process of creating its new identity will begin. As you enter the factory, you can hear the incessant sound of the machine, an uninterrupted rhythm that never stops, never tires. The first step is sorting. Each jackfruit is loaded onto a conveyor belt, where sophisticated sensors and cameras scan it. Its weight, size, color, and even the density of the inside are analyzed. There is no room for human guesswork here. All decisions are made by data. Artificial intelligence determines which jackfruits are suitable for processing and which ones will be discarded. Accuracy at this stage is so important that a wrong decision can cause problems for the entire production line. Next comes the cutting process, which is the most amazing part of the entire factory. Giant robotic arms pick up the jackfruits one by one and precisely cut off their hard skins. Where this task takes time and is risky for humans, the machine completes the job with precision in seconds. Each cut is calculated so that not a single part is wasted. The skin separates, and the soft inside slowly comes out. This inside is the center of the whole story. The unripe part of the jackfruit, which is usually eaten as a vegetable, is the most important part of the process. This is because its fiber structure is such that when properly cooked and processed, it feels like meat. These parts are separated and sent to special machines where they are cleaned, washed, and prepared for the next step. The most amazing thing about this entire process is that nothing goes to waste. The jackfruit seeds are collected separately, which are used to make other food products. The peels are used for animal feed or organic material. There is no waste in this factory. Everything is recyclable. This is not just a production process, it is an example of a sustainable system. Slowly, these jackfruit parts move on to the next stage where their real transformation begins. Here, they are processed in a way that makes them look, feel, and even taste like meat. And from here begins an incredible journey, the story of a fruit becoming a pork-like food. At this point, you realize that this is not just a factory, it is a symbol of change. This factory tells the story of how a common fruit is becoming one of the most important foods in the world market through modern technology. But the most important part of this story is still to come: how this jackfruit became a pork-like food and why its demand around the world is growing so rapidly. Once those soft parts of the jackfruit are cleaned, the most important step begins: texturing and flavoring. In this step, the jackfruit is processed in a way that its fibers separate and form layers like meat. These parts are pressed, pulled apart, and brought to a specific shape using special machines. This process is called shredding, where the jackfruit fibers become exactly like pulled pork. Then comes the game of taste. Jackfruit itself is not very pungent in taste, so it is prepared with special marinades, spices, and sauces. This flavoring process determines the type of food it will end up being. Smoky flavor, sweet, spicy barbecue flavor, everything is added in such a way that it feels close to meat. At this stage, jackfruit is no longer jackfruit. It becomes a new type of food. The people working inside the factory are the silent heroes of this entire process. They monitor every step, ensuring that everything is running smoothly. No matter how advanced the machines are, this system is incomplete without human decisions and supervision. Each worker works under strict hygiene rules because the products made here go to the global market, where there can be no compromise on quality. At the end of this entire process, those jackfruit pieces reach the packaging line. They are sealed, labeled, and prepared for transportation using sophisticated machines. Each package carries a story, a journey from nature to technology. These products are shipped to countries around the world where people use them for barbecues, sandwiches, or in various recipes. There is a big reason behind this change, the change in people's eating habits. People around the world are now turning to alternative foods, especially plant-based foods. Environmental protection, health awareness, and ethical reasons. All of these changes are happening rapidly. And at the center of this change is jackfruit, which is an affordable, easily available, and versatile food. But this story also raises a deeper question before us. Are we using nature, or is nature teaching us to live in a new way? How can a simple fruit change our food system? This factory is looking for an answer to that question. Here, technology and nature are working together to create a new future. In the end, when you look at this entire journey, you understand this is not just a processing, it is a transformation. The story of a fruit hanging on a tree branch to becoming an international food product. And this story shows us what the food of the future could be. Today's jackfruit is not just a fruit. It's an idea, a possibility, a revolution. And maybe soon, this jackfruit will become an important part of our daily diet, one that tastes like meat but doesn't contain any animals. This one change could change the entire world's food system.